guys! Maayong maaga! It's me again, your Angel. So, in today's discussion, we're going to tackle about how our body works. Sounds interesting, right? Let's use our imagination first. We're going to build a house. You're not going to start on the roof, right? You begin with the small materials like cements and bricks. In our body, works the same way. Everything starts with building blocks that eventually form cell, tissue, organs, and a complete human body. So, start pa lang yan. Just focus on our discussion. Before we explore these different levels, let's first look at the objectives of today's presentation. So, the first is define the biomolecular hierarchy of the cell. Next, identify the different levels of biomolecular organization. Third, explain the function of the four major biomolecules. And fourth, describe the importance of biomolecular hierarchy in living organisms. And the last is relate the concept of health and everyday life. Yes, I know that you're excited, but now that we know what we aim to learn, let's first answer the question, what is biomolecular hierarchy? So, biomolecular hierarchy is the organization of life from the smallest chemical components to the entire organism. Each level builds upon the previous one. It shows how tiny building blocks work together to form living things. So, it is the way living things are organized from the smallest parts to the largest. Think of it like building a house. You start with small materials like bricks, cement, and woods. These materials are put together to build walls, rooms, and finally the entire house. In the same way, our bodies all built from tiny chemical building blocks that combine to create cells, tissues, organs, and eventually the entire organism. This organism allows every part of the body to work together efficiently. How? Now that we understand the concept, let's look at each level of the biomolecular hierarchy one by one. Now look at this picture. Let's start with atom, which are the smallest unit of matter. It includes carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur. When atoms combine, they form molecules such as water. So the next is molecule. Molecule build organelles, which are the tiny structures inside the cell. And the next is organelles. Organelles work together to form cell, the basic unit of life. And the next is group of similar cell form tissue. Different tissues combine to form organelles such as the heart and lungs. Organs work together in organ system, like the digestive or circulation system. Finally, all organ systems work together make a different complete organism such as human being. Each level depends on the one before it, making very important. I'm glad that you have knowledge on levels of biomolecular hierarchy. Let's proceed to organelles and cells. Inside every cell are different organelles that have a specific job. First is the nucleus. It acts as a control center because it contains DNA and directs the activity of the cell. Next is the mitochondria. This is also called as powerhouse of the cell because they produce the energy needed by the cell. Last is the ribosome. The ribosome are important because it is responsible for making proteins. Just think it wisely. Like a worker in the factory, these organelles work together to keep the cell alive and functioning properly. Now that you have a lot of knowledge when it comes to biomolecular hierarchy, let's go to the real-life application. Understanding the biomolecular hierarchy is important because it helps us understand how our body works. When biomolecular or cell become damaged, disease can occur. For example, damaged DNA can lead to cancer, while problems with protein can affect our muscle function. This knowledge also important in healthcare because doctors, nurses, pharmacists, and other medical professionals use it to diagnose disease, develop treatments, and improve patient care. For you to easily understand, here is our summary. Always remember, ligtas ang may alam. Bye! For you to easily understand, this is our summary. Always remember, sabi ni Kuya Kim, ligtas ang may alam.